Welcome to Nebula 404, where we introduce listeners to the world of technology. We'll be discussing the growing capacity needs in the workforce, the changes necessary in education and how and what we teach, and the exciting opportunities that await those seeking a career in technology. This is a new pilot series that we're doing, and we're excited to bring a number of guests with us this coming month that will share with you some of the information about how our organization is impacting the workforce development, some of the challenges we're faced in the industry from a skills perspective, and also some education technology that will help educators look at how better ways to teach technology in the classroom and for those individuals seeking to build capacity on their own. Through these series and guest speakers, we hope to excite and inform everyone about how they can proceed and build a career in technology or even explore technology itself. Our first guest with us today, I'm really excited to be introducing you to. We have Risco Menchen-Lewis, who is the Deputy Commissioner, Police Commissioner for Suffolk County.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So Risco, tell us a little bit about, we are a partner with Risco. So Risco has an organization, she's going to share a little bit that with you, that helps support those formerly incarcerated and really helping reduce recidivism, which is a tough word. I always have a hard time saying that word. And the reason why we partner with organizations like Risco's organization, which is CODA, which is, I'll let you kind of introduce yourself and talk about what that organization is, and then we'll continue our discussion.
Okay. So I'm Risco Menchen-Lewis, Deputy Police Commissioner of Suffolk County Police Department. I've been a Deputy Police Commissioner in Suffolk County since 2012. I was brought in by County Executive Malone to work within the police department to reduce shooting violence, reduce crime, and build a relationship between police and communities of color. And so in this journey, recidivism is a part of that, because you can't drive down. I always say when you slow down or stop reentry, the entry to prison, you reduce reentry, obviously. And so the idea is these young men and women who may have gotten criminally involved at some point in their lives, if you can get them a career, something that they love, they'll just move on to something else because they'll realize their own value. And so that's why I was very excited to connect with Nebula Academy, that we connect the dots, for two reasons. One, because software engineering is a growing, exciting field where people can enter in, and your criminal record may not mean as much as it does in other places. You can work remotely, right? And the second thing is that you can get a job in it. And so those are the two reasons why I was excited to find out about Nebula Academy, and we connect the dots.
Yeah, so it's a great organization, and what we're seeing in the students that you've brought, sent to us, and we've had accepted into our program, is that it's exciting to see their passion and interest, and how that energy, creating positive energy in the right direction really changes them. And we watch to see how they evolve it's only a 4-month program, but in that 4-month program, we see the transition, that transformation that happens with those candidates, and how they really think about this opportunity they have in front of them, and what it takes to work really hard to get to it. And they're great problem solvers, and they're really one of our, the strongest students in our class are the students that come from you. And I really enjoy having them in the class because they bring so much to the classroom in their conversations and how they attack problems. So it really is exciting to have them really create that diversity in the classroom for us. Right. And we get super excited about seeing them get jobs. We've had a number of students participate in our programs from CODA. Not all of them we've gotten employment yet. We are still working with those students. Reality is when our students graduate, they're not done. They become part of our alumni, and we continue to work with them. We do have challenges with students with imposter syndrome, which is really, all of our students have that. Any student who's taking on opportunities to go into this tech world can sometimes feel like, I can't really do this. This is this fake thing I'm doing.
I don't belong.
Yeah, I don't belong here. Yeah, exactly. And so we have to get them comfortable and getting them realizing and building that confidence and capacity to see that they really can be a part of this and that they can make a difference for themselves and their families. Right. So a couple of questions I have for you. What are some of the challenges that you see for those who have been formerly incarcerated, and getting back into the workforce, specifically in the tech industry?
So COTA, C-O-T-A, stands for the counsel of thought and action, right? And so some of that has to do with the reason why I got involved, or those get involved in criminology often, is because of three things, right? Two things really. We think it's their cognitive ability to know and learn, but it's usually not that. It's their social and emotional intelligence.
Right.
How do I relate socially? What were the tools that I learned? And how do I manage my emotions in difficult situations, right? You're smiling because
that's what we teach.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, what are the benefits? How has it helped our people, and how does their criminal background impact this ability? Yeah. The beauty of it is, it's so. You think of computers and software as advanced thinking, and so the fact that they're doing it gives them a sense of value that they did not have prior to doing it, right? That's the first thing. Just off the bat, I have ability to do this, right? So that tells them cognitively, I'm good, I can do this.
Confidence.
And then the Friday class builds their social and emotional intelligence. Counsel Thought and Action focuses on social emotional intelligence. So the CODA people that you receive have already been doing work on their social emotional intelligence. And that Friday class is like an advanced class of them meeting new people all the time
and applying it
of advancing their social and emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And so if you say what are the differences encountering someone with a criminal background, sometimes it's the tools that they learn are not conducive to a work environment, right?
Yeah,
and
they've never worked in a professional environment in some cases.
Correct, and some have, and they weren't successful.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that by learning the cognitive side, the programming, but that Friday social emotional intelligence teaches them now. They've been learning social emotional intelligence in CODA, but now they're incorporating it in a collaborative environment with other students, with teachers, where they're not only learning it on Friday, but they have to practice it while they're learning a new thing.
Yeah.
So they're multitasking in a sense, right? I got to learn this new information, and I've got to apply these social emotional tools I'm learning.
Yeah.
So it's really, really a crash course in the development necessary to advance those who have probably deficiencies, right, in social emotional intelligence, and deficiencies in academic learning, right, and skills. You're giving them a crash course of mixing these two things together, but you're also teaching them how to do it. Most jobs, they're not working on social emotional intelligence, right? And so a lot of people, they get jobs, and their social emotional intelligence just makes them mess up.
They lose the job because of the inability to manage their
social and emotional.
To manage their emotions and to be able to deal with situations that they might be difficult that they're dealing with. And so what we love for Friday sessions and throughout the week, it's we're teaching tech skills, but reality is, and you're going to hear this from other folks that we're going to bring on for the interviews here in these sessions about the importance of these skills. You're not going to hear about the tech skills from the companies when they're looking to hire somebody. You're going to hear about all these soft skills because we know that that's really what it takes.
Right.
And so what I love about the application of the tech and the soft skills is that they're getting chances to practice it. And we see this all the time. I have to give you a scenario this week where we had a student, and it's one of your students from CODA, who was really challenged with hearing critical feedback. And he was having a difficult time with the other students in the assessment, because we do this concept of 360. And we do it towards the end of the program. And the reason why we do it towards the end of the program is because in a work environment, 360, so those of you who are in the workforce that have been in a while, you know what a 360 is. And a 360 is getting feedback from your peers about who you are as a person and how you worked with them. And so we do that towards almost 2 weeks before graduation. What they're doing is they've been together for 4 months. Now, granted, they're not, working in the workforce, but we treat this program like they come to work every day. We have to, because we have to get their endurance up. We've got to get them to realize this is what they're going to be faced every day with when they come to a job. And so the course is not just about teaching the tech skills and the soft skills, but it's giving them that environment to apply this as if they were going to work. So they've got 4 months behind them of what it feels like to have a job and what these requirements are to interact and to socialize and to communicate with others. And so by doing this 360, the students will get direct feedback from their peers that says, hey, you maybe weren't as respectful in the classroom with and being opened to hearing criticism. And then when they hear the criticism and then they get emotional about it, that's a direct reflection on, hey, this is what we're talking about right now. Right now what you're doing is what we see in the classroom. So can you be aware of that? And it's about self-awareness, because sometimes they don't know that this experience or that they're emulating this in their communications. And so they have to have others in a safe place, and that's key here. We don't want them to fail at the job. We want them to fail with us and in that safe space where they can learn from that. So excited that that you've seen value in the program and that it's valuable to these students coming in. Next question I have for you. We talked about some of the benefits, I think, key here, right? Anything else that were core benefits that you saw from the graduates coming out?
Well, the core benefit is the people who get jobs.
Yeah.
And so we have a few people who have gotten jobs.
Yep.
And
we still have some work to do, though.
yeah, no doubt. But also, sometimes I look at their development as phases, right? And so you may say, well, this is about getting a job, and you're right.
Yeah.
But I don't always put people there to get a job.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just put people there so they can win.
Yeah.
So they can say, I can do this. I can learn some new skills.
Yep.
And they may decide ultimately, you know what, I don't want to do
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
Right? And I've had people go, you know what, Miss Lewis,
This isn't for me.
I did well, I excelled.
Yep.
I'm thankful for having excelled at this.
Yeah.
But I don't want to sit at a computer every day, all day.
Yeah.
It's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I've had one person do that. He excelled. It's just not what he wanted to do.
Right.
I have another person who the Friday classes healed him, literally healed a trauma. He got shot. We worked with him for 2 years. He could barely communicate, and now he can fully communicate because of those Friday classes.
That's
now,
fantastic.
is he going to do computers? He's working on it, right? He really likes cars, though, and so it's okay because
okay.
that Friday class moved him from when we met him broken and fractured to pretty healed to recognizing this healed me to where I am confident in dealing with others, and I don't feel afraid to trust others.
Okay.
That was huge for him.
Yeah.
And so then we have other people, like a female we had, she did 2 years in federal prison.
Yeah.
She had a baby while she's in class. She just got a job.
I know.
Now she's got a newborn baby at home. She's got a job. She's freaking out.
Yeah.
And who wouldn't be? But she got a job after serving time in federal prison. She's in college. She was in college before she went to prison.
Right.
However, the Nebula got her the job.
Yeah.
It wasn't the software engineering from college. It was Nebula got her the job, and she needed that job because she just had a baby.
Yeah.
And so all in all, I feel it's successful. I will put more people in for the people who get jobs, for the people who gain more insight into the career they actually want, and for those who develop social emotional intelligence and wins of their social emotional wins and intellectual wins. And that's why it's good. And let's face it, computers can be used anywhere,
They
right?
can, absolutely.
They can be used. I may not use it exactly in the way Nebula trained me, but there's ways that I can use this to be successful. And that's the key to this, is you're trying to help people get successes. Computer, software engineering is the way to go for some. And I'm excited about the next cohort that are about to come out.
Yeah, I am
Right.
too. I'm really excited about it. So we have a graduating class coming up in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. And so we're super excited to see what steps and what journeys they're going to take. But really, what you're hearing is that, it's not just about the tech skills, it's the soft skills that really make somebody successful, and building that confidence to be able to communicate with others and to be able to handle those emotional challenges that might be in the workforce that they're faced with. So those are really important skills that we need today to really nurture into everybody, not just those formerly incarcerated.
I want to throw something out here. I wondered whether I should. Just to be clear, I paid full for my son.
Yeah.
However, my son is doing amazing. Like, he has a plan, he has a job, he has a client, he's working on his next salary.
I am so excited to
He's
hear
talking
that.
about buying land. He's only 22 years old. He has stocks, he has investments, all because this gave him a tool and a skill that he didn't even know he could love.
Yeah.
He didn't know he could love it. He went to college and became a model by being discovered.
Right.
But he has an agent for modeling, but he's more focused on
the software engineering.
his software engineering, and he still trains. He still does the schedule you taught him
Right.
in Nebula. This is a kid who used to get up at 1 o'clock
Right.
because he's a model making $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
So he would get up at 1 o'clock and say, "Rams, you got to get up, go." But for modeling, he didn't.
Yeah.
But for software engineering, he gets up and he works all day, and he has a client from another country or something, and so he works at night.
Oh, wow.
And so he it really does advance not just the person who is formerly incarcerated. My son is a high achiever from a high achieving family.
Yeah.
What it did for him was gave him the skills to really excel, something he loves, and gave him a schedule.
A routine. Yeah.
And that's another thing Nebula does. You get up in the morning, you work all day.
It's building endurance. We have to build endurance.
After you work all day, he had to put in 3 hours at night.
Yeah, homework.
Right,
Yep.
homework. And
Yep.
so it really, really was an effective for not only the numerous people with criminal record that I put in there, right? But also my son, and I paid full price, who did well also. So it really, I have to say, if you have a kid or an adult who says they're interested in this, who likes math, who likes numbers, who likes to play on the computer, take a shot. Take a shot and put them in. Because I think no matter what, it will be a benefit. No matter what they end up ultimately doing, it will be a benefit.
Yeah.
That's what I have found.
Yeah,
Every single student.
I have to say, my niece recently graduated from our program too, because she was feeling kind of frustrated and lost. She's a graduate; she has a bachelor's degree, but she was feeling like she really wasn't interested in her job anymore and whatnot, in the career path that she was in. And she just did a blog article, and I just shared it out on LinkedIn yesterday. And I was so proud of this article because she was sharing the same passion and interest that your son saw in taking this program. Was her just. It sparked this new energy in her, this new creativity that she didn't think she had. And so,
it's focus.
And it's focus. So thank you for sharing the story of your son as well, because Ramsey's a great student. All right, so I think we're just about at time here. I wanted to kind of share the importance of the community partnership between Nebula Academy and We Connect the Dots. And really, the We Connect the Dots and the philanthropy work that Nebula is doing and supporting with CODA. Because I think that we really need more people aware of this, and that's partly why we're doing this show, to make sure that they hear these stories, and helping support us to get scholarships, to impact more people, to create more opportunities. And again, even if they decide that software engineering isn't their thing, the troubleshooting and the problem solving and the critical thinking skills and all of those, the social emotional learning that they gain from this will help them at any job that they take. Because every job today is going to require some form of tech.
Yes.
And they will be much better technologists as a result of taking our programs.
They can do side jobs on their own.
Yeah.
Web design, etc. Entrepreneurs, right. Some
Yep.
of them are doing entrepreneurial work.
Yep.
They don't have to get a job with a company.
Yeah, they don't. And that's the
and
wonderful
so,
thing about software engineering. You can go work for somebody else, or you can start your own business, or do it on the side and make money and work for somebody else.
But for the grant work, the grants were given.
Yeah.
The CODA members would not have been able to take the class.
Yeah.
Right? They would not, the young woman who did 2 years would not have been able to be working now, have a job where she can take care of her newborn.
Yeah.
And so, that's extremely important, the fact that, have that opportunity for people to take an opportunity, a magnificent opportunity, and at no cost.
Right. And to really create impact for somebody, to create sustainable career for them and sustainability for their families.
Right.
So, and that's huge savings for government.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of people out there today that are in this situation that we need to help. So we're looking forward to that.
Let me say one thing.
Yeah.
In New York State, it's over $60,000 a year to put a person upstate.
Right.
It's over $200,000 to put a teen.
Wow.
You can get Nebula for a lot less than any of that.
Yeah.
You can put
$15,000.
Yeah, exactly. You can put a lot of people. You save money by putting them in these programs. You literally save hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yep.
Because the taxpayers are the ones paying for that.
Yes, absolutely.
So
we are.
to incarcerate people.
Yep.
When you can put them in Nebula Academy instead and let them get trained to get a career.
Thank you. Last thing I wanted to, what would you share, or what advice would you give somebody who's formerly incarcerated or involved in the justice system, who is exploring opportunities in tech, or is curious about how to enter the tech economy?
First, I tell them to call CODA, Council of Thought and Action. You can look us up online. The second is we'll connect you, or you can just call We Connect the Dots, or look at Nebula Academy online. because, but I would ask you, I think we work well together.
We need the partnership is key, right? Because we can't support all of their needs. Right. We can support their training and their education into the field, but CODA is really the key piece to this partnership.
We can problem solve the rest of their life,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so you can also, there are times when you'll call me and say,
oh yeah, we've had to.
This person needs a little work, you know, they got their dog on screen, right?
Yeah, we've had some challenges,
exactly.
and having you as your team and you as a resource to be able to say, listen, we need you to help this student, here's the challenges we're faced with, and you've done that every time. Right. And that's really what's made the difference between the success here is the two partners together. And
then in CODA we call it a board of advisors. That these are individual corporations, we say, and they need both sides of this coin. They need you need support in the rest of your life, and you need support while you do this new journey, this new challenge, where you might get afraid, you might want to pull back, and you have people going, okay, how'd you do this week? And clapping for you and saying, great job, we're proud of you. And so I think it's a good combination. I look forward to the future of this. And if you're looking for tech, this is a no-brainer. You can't beat the training, you can't beat the cost, you can't beat the knowledge that you're going to gain. And I take this from people who, my son-in-law is a computer engineer. Like, he went to school for it. He works in the basement all day long on the computer, right? His brother does. Yeah. They paid a lot for college, and I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm just saying some people
are not bound for college.
A boot camp is a more efficient, effective way for them to make it out. My son, I want him to finish his degree, and he's looking at finishing his degree. But this gave him that I like the term boot camp.
It is a boot camp.
Because it's like a boot in the butt to get you going where you really want to go. Yeah. And so that's why I think go this route. Because then even if you decide it's not for you, you didn't put so much money out. Yeah. You learned a lot, and you're also going to learn some social, emotional, collaborative skills that you absolutely need
to sustain these careers. Yeah. So some might find it strange that the Suffolk County Police Department is working with formerly incarcerated. Yeah. Can help us understand that.
Some might find it strange. However, a police department's job is to stop and reduce crime. That's our job. Yeah. The question is how best to do it, right? Now, could we lock people up? Absolutely. We do it every day. We're really good at it. As a matter of fact, I call it a timeout. You're just getting a timeout going to prison. But those timeouts in prison cost between $60,000 and $200,000, depending on the age of the person, for 1 year. And so the goal is to stop crime. And the best way to stop crime is to transfer the people's skills over to something they love. Yeah. And Nebula Academy gives them an opportunity to look at the field of software engineering as something they might love, and therefore never go back to crime again. And that's our job as a police department.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us today. Please come back next week to learn more about the growing opportunities and the tech economy. And please visit our website at nebulaacademy.com to learn more about us and make a donation to We Connect the Dots to help support scholarships to impact those out there gaining workforce skills. Thank you.